Since the beginning of time, treasure hunters around the world have put their lives on the line for a shot at fame and unimaginable fortunes.
Now it's my turn.
In this video, my friend and I are going to embark on a quest to uncover 3 legendary treasures and find the truth behind these stories.
Starting with the tale of Panama Pete.
Basically, the story goes, in the mid-1800s, a bank carriage transporting gold was robbed while passing through Panama. The thief quickly hid the gold in a crevice at Panama Rocks, planning to come back for it, but Pete was soon caught by the police. Then local officials searched the area, but the gold was never found.
So today we're gonna investigate this story and see if we can find Pete's lost treasure.
Now, before we talk to some locals to get more information, we started exploring Panama Rocks, a park with mysterious rock formations, huge boulders, and narrow passageways that look like something out of a fantasy movie.
Would definitely not be a bad spot to hide something, I'll tell you that much.
Check this out. Counterfeiter's Den.
It says counterfeiters used to use these caves to hide out and make fake money. In the mid-19th century, counterfeit printing materials were found in these caves.
If I was the criminal and I was hiding treasure, I'd probably hide it here.
It looks like there's a little more to the story than we thought.
I'm kind of skeptical. I mean, is there any real proof that this guy Pete ever actually existed?
Good point. I guess we're gonna have to find out.
Now, before I busted out my high-tech metal detector, I wanted to make sure we got the full story. So we drove into town to see if people actually believe the legend and see if we could find any clues that give us a lead.
Somebody around here knows something about this story, and we're gonna get to the bottom of it.
Have you heard of the legend of Panama Pete's treasure? The legend of Panama Pete's treasure. Yeah.
All right. Could I just get a personal pizza, please?
Do you guys think the treasure could be out there or no?
Oh, I definitely
Think so?
There's so many little nooks and crannies
Okay.
there that like some people are just too scared to go there.
You think there's a chance it's out there?
It could be out there, but also, how do we know what's true and what's not? Because of the local history, right? What
Yeah, local folklore.
has it been exaggerated in it?
Yeah.
I have a Panama Rocks file. You want to look at it?
That would be amazing.
Have you ever had other treasure hunters come looking?
Really?
I've got a good feeling about this.
This is news clippings, and this is writings.
Panama Rocks. Strange. Definitely something strange about this. We're gonna find it.
It has ancient energy. I mean, it does.
Then we spent the next hour going through a bunch of old articles and writings to see if we could find any information that proves the story is real.
Wait a second, look at this. The history of Panama Rocks is fraught with adventures and stories of hidden treasures, and the traditions regarding these are many and varied. This is the second part of the story. This is all new information.
This is not online anywhere.
It was dark when they arrived, and instead of waiting until daylight to hide the treasure, the bandits deposited it among the stones and immediately left the location. When they came back in the daytime, they were unable to find it, and hence, according to tradition, it is still there awaiting discovery. So you know what that means?
It could still be out there.
When was this published?
1947.
All right, so we learned the bandits hid the treasure late at night, and people were talking about the story not long after it happened.
Then we decided to explore the counterfeiter's den and try out my new detector that can find large objects 10 feet underground.
First signal.
Then for the next hour, I dug up multiple signals and patiently sifted through dirt, although all we found were a few pieces of scrap metal.
All right, we're gonna hike deep into the den, see if we can have some better luck. I doubt many people have come and hunt here. How many people even have the proper equipment, too?
Not many.
Oh my God, it's deep, huh?
No one's coming in here. There could be so much treasure.
There might be more than treasure in here.
could be like chupacabra in here.
Oh, we might find Bigfoot. Holy cow, this goes deep.
Oh God.
It's tight. I think we got something.
Then I began quickly digging inside the cave and sifting through more dirt when I finally found something interesting.
Look at this. Is that scrap metal or is that a coin?
Grab the detector. That's metal.
That was it. We got it.
Yeah, that's a clip.
Is that actually a coin?
It's definitely a coin. It's got markings of some sort.
I can't believe you just found that. It's treasure, bro. I didn't think we were gonna find jack down here.
We're definitely gonna have to take this to a
That
professional and
is
have it
insane.
appraised. But wait, did the US ever use bronze for their coins?
No, they didn't. But we should definitely keep digging.
Look at how deep this goes.
I feel like I'm about to pull out a human skull right now. There's a ton of bones down here.
Do you think any of them belong to Panama Pete?
No, I don't.
Now, for the rest of the afternoon, I continued digging in the same spot we found the coin, as well as a few other parts of the cavern.
This is literally like looking for a needle in a haystack.
And since the ground is basically just layers of rock with dirt in between, digging more than a couple feet was nearly impossible.
All right, everyone, the park is about to close.
And we have to catch a flight to Arizona.
So after doing some research, I believe there's a 95% chance that this story is made up or has been heavily exaggerated over time, just because we weren't able to find any concrete evidence that this story actually happened
or any proof of Pete's existence, but let me know what you think. Now, after leaving Panama Rocks, we set the coin to be appraised and flew to Arizona to search for the most famous treasure in American history. I just made it to the Superstition Mountains, where many believe to be a lost mine filled with $200 million worth of gold. Legend has it in 1877, Jacob Waltz, known as the Dutchman, discovered an extremely rich gold mine deep in the Superstition Mountains, and was regularly seen in town using gold nuggets to buy things. Then, on his deathbed in 1891, Waltz confessed how he found the mine, who he killed to keep it hidden, and lastly revealed the mine's location to a fellow prospector named Dick Holmes. Although because the directions were unclear and the mountains were hard to navigate, Dick was never able to find the mine. And unlike most treasure legends, there's actually a ton of evidence to support the story. So before we hiked 10 miles into the mountain to search for the mine, we went to the Superstition Mountain Museum to look at evidence people have found and learn more about the story.
What this is they found them in the desert. People believe that if you read the coding and the symbols correctly, it will give you the location of the Lost Dutchman mine. There's two sides to it. A lot of people believe these are accurate. However, then you have the other side. This is just
A bit more skeptical.
You know, like the heart looks too good to be carved.
And what's the story of how these were found?
They were found actually alongside of the road, dug up by Travis, 1949. People will tell you, like here we have all the maps. They're from people that believe that they found the gold, or they might know where it is.
Yeah.
We get calls at least once or twice a week saying, oh, I found the gold, I know where it is.
Are they asking for resources?
Exactly. They're looking for help money-wise or equipment. Of course, everybody say, hey, give me $50,000 and I'll let you know where it is, or I'll take it to it.
What theory do you personally believe?
Oh, if I tell you that, then we might not have people coming here. It's a story, it's feasible. Whether it's accurate or not, you never know. I mean, we have people every year going up into the mountains. I'd say about 500 people have died in the mountain. They just became dehydrated and died. Been skulls found from people that were shot. Who's looking out for it? Was it somebody that thought they knew where the gold was and somebody else was coming to their area, so they killed them? A lot of people have fallen off the mountain for no reason. They were on the trails and all of a sudden they slipped and found them years later. But there's been an awful lot of people dying.
Wow. I read about a Native American curse that some believe to be the reason behind some of these deaths.
Yeah, well, the Native Americans, of course, were here way before us, the white man. And that's how the mountain got its name, Superstition Mountain, is because the farmers that settled here believed all the superstitions that the Native Americans were telling them were just that, superstitions. And it is possible that they have put a curse on the gold. Now, anything that's found in the mountain is government property.
Oh, really?
So
I didn't know that. I know it varies state to state. So in Arizona, it would be the government's?
Yes, you can keep anything you find on the ground, but you can't go up there with drilling equipment. You can go up there with a shovel and a pick.
We're actually going to go out to the Superstition Mountains tomorrow and look for ourselves. Do you have any advice for us or anything we should watch out for?
Yeah, go early. It's going to get hot. A lot of water with you. There are a lot of rattlesnakes in the area, so definitely don't get off the path.
Then I drove into town to ask the locals what they believe.
Do you think it's actually out there?
I think it's out there.
You do?
Yeah, I grew up, my parents always telling me that it was out there, so I always grew up open-minded that it was. A lot of people say they've found stuff.
Growing up, is it pretty well known? Everybody has heard the legend before.
Yeah, we went there for outings and stuff like that.
I didn't get it was found by Goldfield Ghost Town.
Oh, you think the ghost town actually found it?
Yeah, the owner of that ghost town found it.
How long have you lived in the area?
Since 1960.
And what's your personal opinion on the Lost Dutchman gold mine?
Might be out there.
You think so? You think there's a chance?
There's a chance.
Honestly, probably not.
You think it's made up?
Probably made up, honestly. But if it is out there, I don't think it's gonna be found.
No?
It's buried, bro.
I just heard that up in the mines that there's guys with ARs that go up there and yeah, I've actually heard this is true.
That's wild. Are you serious?
It's true that go up there and hunt with ARs, but there's people who live up there in the mountains that go down and I can't say.
So you're saying they're very territorial to locals and tourists looking for the gold?
Well, yes, looking for the gold, yes, it's extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. Sorry.
Nah, you're good. You're good, man. It's definitely something we should probably take into consideration when we search.
So as I was once told, is don't go exploring up there because it's pretty dangerous up there.
You think it's a bad idea that we go looking tomorrow morning?
Definitely. I would say definitely.
I believe it was a stash of gold that was stumbled upon.
Now, as I was interviewing people, a woman came up and asked if we'd be interested in talking to her 94-year-old neighbor, Clayton Worst, a man who worked alongside Dick Holmes' son and spent 7 years of his life searching for the mine.
Brownie passed the torch, which had been passed to him from his father, to this gentleman.
And Brownie, when he first took me into his confidence, he said, Clay, nobody must know that you and I are working together. He said, there are times that I felt my own life was jeopardized, being back in the mountains with the knowledge I possessed.
Then the lady said she talked to Clay and let me know if we could interview him.
So after talking to a bunch of locals, it seems like everyone has a different theory, so I guess we're just gonna have to go out and look for ourselves.
The Superstition Mountain Range is agreed upon by all geologists to be the most vicious and roughest mountain range in the lower 48 states.
The search continues for 3 men lost to the Superstition Mountains. They were reportedly looking for the lost Dutchman mine with hopes of striking it rich, but now experts say they'll be lucky to get out alive.
But if they don't make it out alive, they won't be the first.
It's one of the most beautiful places in the world and one of the most dangerous.
44 hikers had to be assisted off the Flatiron Trail.
This time of year, you just got to be crazy to go out there.
This time it seems like the same old dream dashed. Men hoping to stake their claim on the lost mine, but the lost mine may be claiming their lives.
It's currently 5:30 in the morning and we're about to embark on a 10-mile hike to Weaver's Needle, where we're gonna search off the trail in hope of finding the lost mine, or at least some clues to help us solve this mystery.
So we set out on the Peralta Trail and started quickly hiking up the mountain in hope of making good progress before the sun came up and the temperature hit triple digits.
All right, we're currently a mile in. No sign of anyone with AK-47s yet. So far, so good.
Although little did I know, this would later become one of the most painful experiences of my life.
All right, we're about 2 miles in right now, and look what I just spotted. I see a little cave right here. Oh, is anyone in there? That looks like it goes down pretty deep. We're only 2 miles in, so I doubt this is actually the entrance to the mine. If so, there would be no gold left whatsoever. Clem, any thoughts?
It's hot, dude. It's way too hot. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think he's having quite as much fun as me, guys. It's getting pretty hot out here, but I think the effort's gonna be worth it when we find that sweet, sweet gold. There it is! Weaver's Needle, baby! Woo! We're getting there. 3 miles down, 2 to go.
So despite the extreme heat and rough terrain, we decided to continue hiking farther into the desert to the area many believe the mine is hidden.
Stop. Stop.
Yeah, I hear it.
Oh, it is the rattlesnake. Wait.
I'm not getting closer to that thing.
He doesn't want us to find the mine. This little bitch is gatekeeping the mine. Right over there in the bushes. It's all right. I'm a trained professional. Damn it! I missed you again. Let's go.
I'm not going that way. Are you, dude, what the hell?
So after I scared off that rattlesnake, we pushed through the pain step by step until we finally reached the end of the trail.
We are now approaching the great Weaver's Needle, where many believe to be the location of the lost Dutchman gold mine. So I think we're just gonna attempt to scale this mountain here. This might be a little bit more difficult than I thought. Now that I'm actually here seeing it with my own eyes, pretty big. And it doesn't help that it's like 105 degrees right now, but I think the gold could be somewhere out there. Let's start hunting.
So I began searching off trail and immediately spotted this.
Oh my God, this is ancient. Let's see what's inside.
Dirt.
This could have belonged to Jacob Waltz. This could be a clue. What do you think it means?
Nothing.
Really?
Absolutely nothing.
Now, after looking at different evidence and talking to a lot of optimistic people, I too had faith that the gold mine was still out here waiting to be found. Although, I don't know if I could say the same for Clem.
How the hell do you think we're getting up there?
I don't think it's as bad as you think, man.
How would the Dutchman get on top of the mountain in the 1800s?
I mean, you seem like a pretty strong guy in the books.
You didn't read the books.
You don't think we can make it up to the
No,
top?
we're not making it up. We're not making it a quarter of the way.
So what was the point of all this?
I don't know. Look around. Show the camera what's around. Nothing. There's a cactus over there. There's 16 cactus over there. That's about it. Some rocks. Maybe a scorpion. Dude, go back. Come on, seriously. Get the camera.
Now at this point, I decided to just use my drone to search the area so we could cover more ground without wasting energy.
All right, let's see what I can find.
So I began carefully maneuvering my drone up around the rocks to see if I could spot anything interesting.
You see any clues?
It's so sunny, it's hard to tell.
Can you tell where you're flying?
Not really. If this legend really exists, we got $200 million on the line. So what if I'm a little hot, maybe a little dehydrated? Okay, it's time to head back. Do you think the most legendary treasure hunters in history just gave up after 30 minutes? Oh my God, this is really intense, guys. I can definitely see how a lot of people never made it back. It's okay, just
Now, even though we packed a ridiculous amount of water, we still managed to run out at the end, so our 5-mile hike back was just pure pain.
A little over 1 mile left. I think we're gonna make it.
Now, after we escaped the desert, our hope was at an all-time low, so we went to the Miners Grill to drink the pain away when I got a text from Clayton Worst, the one person who can give us the answers we've been searching for.
I was fortunate enough to have come to Arizona at a time when there were still men living that either knew the Dutchman Jacob Waltz or intimately knew someone who had. And it was my privilege to have known several of these pioneer families.
You okay with doing audio?
Oh yeah. Since we've been in town and started asking locals their opinions, it sounds like everybody believes in a different theory or a different thing. It's very confusing.
First of all, many people maintain there is no lost Dutchman mine. Yes, there is. When the Dutchman died in 1891, under his bed, he had 48.5 pounds of incredibly high-grade gold ore. And he gave it to Dick Holmes as a grub stake to go find the mine and gave him the best description he could of how to go to the mine. Now, you would give a man a fortune in gold to go find a mine.
Yeah.
And then lie to him about the mine. Well, the problem was they were beginning to put names on the canyons and the mountains, but the Dutchman couldn't use place names. All he could describe was what the country looked like. And in one of the roughest pieces of wilderness terrain on the North American continent, it wasn't good enough. They never found the mine.
I'm curious what your opinion on the Peralta stones are.
I'm one of the founders of that museum, and they're one of their displays. But I think they're phony as hell, and I don't see where they're a map to anything.
What area do you think has the greatest chance of being in?
Don't want to go there, and I'll tell you why. I was back there through the 1960s, and the 60s were interesting because people were killing each other. And they're killing each other because they all agreed there had to be a place near Weaver's Needle where the mine was, and they were all afraid that the other ones were going to find it before they found it. So they're killing each other. And when it was all over and the smoke finally cleared, nobody had anything. Now, if Clay Worst comes out, hey, he was one of the founders of the museum. If he says this is where the mine ought to be, boy, let's go there and look. So everybody comes, and you got 1960s all over again. So I have never divulged where I think it ought to be. And since I spent some time looking down the gun barrel, I don't want to start a thing like that all over again. I think you'll walk out of here believing that that sucker's back there.
I do now.
Yeah.
We went out today, and I was like, I don't think it's out here.
It's back there. It really is. People that tell me, Clay, write a book, for heaven's sakes. Tell the story. They say, why should I? Well, you want to see it found, don't you? Do I? Right now, that mountain calls to you. It says, come look back at the mountain.
Yeah.
Come look for that treasure. Now, once it's found and publicized, then it doesn't call anymore.
That's true.
Because of the way it was covered and hidden, I don't think it's going to be found for a long, long time.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, I enjoyed your company.
Then we traveled to the Catskill Mountains to hunt for a famous mobster's lost fortune.
Dutch Schultz, one of the most powerful gangsters of the Prohibition era.
If you stepped on his toes, you were in trouble.
He starts making an unbelievable amount of money.
And that money is said to be buried somewhere in upstate New York.
All right, everybody, new story, same We just made it to the Catskill Mountains, where famous mobster Dutch Schultz buried his $7 million fortune. Now, if you don't know the story, basically this guy, Dutch Schultz, did a bunch of illegal things to make money. And in the early 1930s, the FBI started building a strong case against him. So he got paranoid and decided to bury his fortune. So he had a custom steel safe made, and him and his bodyguard put jewelry, bonds, and a light $7 million inside.
That's a lot of money.
I know. Then they took a train from New York City to the Catskill Mountains, but I guess Dutch got nervous that the police were gonna catch him at a checkpoint. So many treasure hunters believe he got off at a stop at Lanesville and buried his fortune somewhere in Phoenicia, New York. But that's not the end of it. Shortly after, a rival mob killed Dutch and his security.
Out of all the stories we've been following, I think this is the most legitimate one.
You know what they say, third time's the charm. So first, we met up with fellow YouTuber Nick T. Guy and went downtown to ask people where they think he buried his fortune.
Mobster used to be in a hotel that's now torn down.
Oh, really?
I'll show you.
Yeah, I read this is where he used to stay, right?
Yeah, for sure. He used to escape. And you know who also was up here used to escape was Babe Ruth.
Oh, Babe Ruth,
Yeah,
wow.
This was a hot town. There's a guy that hangs around here all the time. See him sitting somewhere, an old guy with white hair. Ask around.
Do you know anything about Dutch Schultz treasure?
Yes, this used to be the Phoenicia Hotel until it burned down.
Right here?
Right here. What do you want to know about it? I don't know where his money is. They came with a backhoe for the last movie that they did, and they dug a hole here just to have something for the video. It's not there.
So they were trying to fake it?
Yeah, they were faking it.
Do you know locations are people think it is?
Yeah. I was brought up in this area, and when I was a kid, I read some stuff, and I was looking around for it. I never could find it.
You gave it a shot, though.
It's like one of those things that there's been a lot of people looking for.
What do you think the odds are the story is true?
I think 50-50 on it. So I know his top guy was killed. His thing wasn't like, to stash it for 10 years. It was to just stash it because rival mobs and stuff were after him. And so he wanted to stash it, I think, for a short period of time to go after it. I don't think it's very deep. I think it's someplace that's more easy access. I don't think he was a guy to go hiking up through the woods or do something like that. It would be near where you could park a car. It was like for a short-term thing. I read an account years ago that had to do some with his deathbed confession. I think some of it might be something, and a lot of it's just rambling on when your brain cells are dying off. At that campsite where Devil's Tombstone is, a train used to go up through that notch, and a couple friends of mine, they thought that was probably a more likely spot. It could be in a lot of different places.
When I was younger, I used to do exactly this kind of stuff. You need to pull from multiple sources.
What are like some of the theories of places where it could be?
Something about the being buried in a creek. That seems to be the most prevalent. Apparently a lot of clues left in some of his letters and stuff.
Do you think there's a chance it's out there?
I am sure because he was murdered after that. People had seen him leaving at a certain time with somebody else helping him carry a drum, and then they would come back early in the morning or full of clay, maybe right there.
Now, after gathering some local intel, we mapped out the 3 most common places people believe Schultz buried his fortune, then headed to the first location.
We are currently standing where the old train station in Phoenicia used to be because a lot of locals believe Dutch might have hid the treasure somewhere around here, so we're gonna boot up these metal detectors and see what we can find.
So we hiked down the tracks, entered the forest, and began target imaging our first signal.
Oh, it's big and it's deep.
This could be anywhere from 1 to 10 feet.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're looking for. This could be a retirement fund right here. Forget a 401k.
It's right here.
Oh, there it is, there it is.
Whoa.
Ooh. Wait a second. This looks like a belt buckle.
This could have been a belt buckle from someone coming on and off the train.
That could be Dutch Schultz belt buckle.
He was known for wearing cheap suits, and this is like very bulky. It's not pretty.
We might want to take that to local history museum. I'm checking out. All right. Okay. This is taking a long time. I think we should all split up.
So to increase our chances of finding the treasure, we headed in different directions and began digging up a variety of signals. Now, although we managed to successfully cover more ground, all we were finding was one piece of junk after another.
That is not Dutch Schultz's treasure.
So after a good amount of effort, we decided to move on to the second location.
Right now, we are standing where Stony Clove Creek meets Espis Creek, next to the hotel that Dutch Schultz used to stay at in Phoenicia.
Dutch Schultz could have swam in this river.
And a lot of researchers think the treasure is somewhere along this creek.
It's just waiting to be found.
Now, with every swing of the detector, we knew Dutch Schultz's $200 million fortune could be right under our feet. So we kept searching, leaving no stone unturned.
This is so much nicer than searching in that damn desert, guys.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That was pure pain, man. We might not have found any treasure yet, but at least we still have our lives.
Yeah!
That's true.
Hey, treasure on 3. 1, 2,
It's all about the thrill of the hunt. So what? We're down on our luck, boys. So what if I spent thousands of dollars for us to find Jack?
No. We found that one can and those nails.
We did find the coin, too. We did find that nice coin.
Yeah.
We still have a chance. You gotta believe.
Oh, you good?
Oh! Damn, bro. Vampire got you.
No mercy, Claude. Lock in.
Show me the shovel. We got it. Here's the big reveal.
It's one of those campfire cookers.
Hey, that's better than nothing. It might not be Dutch Schultz treasure,
but it's functional.
Now, after searching along the creek for 5 hours, all we found was an old nickel and a bunch of scrap. So I decided to switch things up and use my RC submarine to see if we could spot anything interesting in the depths of this creek.
I know this might look like I'm grasping at straws, but people have been searching the Catskills for a long time, and I feel like if we're gonna find the treasure, we gotta think outside the box.
How is this thing gonna even search for anything? It's stuck on its side.
Just give it a second. Don't doubt my sub.
I'm doubting the sub a little bit. Reel that thing in. The sub is a little bit subpar, I would say.
It keeps turning off.
Dude, that toy is a joke. Let me get in on it.
Oh my
This is why we added him to the party. You don't see anything down there?
Dude, there's nothing in this river.
This might be a lost cause, guys.
So we decide to cut our losses and head to the final location.
We're about to enter a massive park known as Devil's Tombstone because a lot of locals believe Dutch could have hid his treasure here because of one line in his deathbed confession that reads, "Mother is the best bet and don't let Satan draw you too fast." I have 8 pages of his deathbed confession here. Most of this, he's just yapping. He's on the brink of death, but a lot of people believe this is a clue on where he hid the treasure.
Might as well take a shot.
So we hiked into the woods and immediately got a signal.
All right, let's get it.
We're running low on daylight, guys. We gotta cook. It's now or never.
And we have to do it before the bears come in.
The locals have mentioned there are a lot of bears in the area, so prefer to find the treasure before it gets too late. Oh wait, there it is.
Wait, what is that? What is it?
Oh,
Dude. Oh, it's a wick. It's a wick.
This would be from a lantern.
Yeah.
Who were using lanterns out here back in the day? I don't know. Are we reaching? Maybe. But this is something, guys. Look. 2 feet away.
Yep.
2 feet away. Another signal. Let me pin it in. Oh, that's big. It's at least 1 foot deep.
So we spent the next 30 minutes digging around the signal until I spotted this.
Definitely metallic.
What do you see?
Here, hand it to me. Let me get a close up.
Dude.
That's it. That's it. Looks like some type of container. It's either a can or like some type of container. It keeps going. It keeps going. Oh, this is massive, bro.
This is massive. This is why we came to the Catskills.
Loose up the dirt. Oh, more wires. Oh,
Hey,
oh.
whoa. A piece. Kind of looks like it, yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's a lantern. Bro, no way. You literally need the lantern. We just found the other piece. Dude, look at that thing.
Wait a second.
Grab the wick.
Oh. We have a full lantern. Do you think it still functions?
There's only one way to find out. It's still light. It's burning.
This might not be a $150 million treasure, but this is a nice relic. You never know who used this lantern back in the day. This could have been used by Abraham Lincoln,
George Washington,
Sacagawea.
Now, after talking to some locals and spending the entire day searching, I personally believe Dutch did bury his fortune, although I think there's a 50-50 chance it's still out there. Nick?
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to go to bed.
Clem?
Yeah, I think someone picked it up a long time ago.
Now that's gonna do it for this video. Unfortunately, we didn't find any crazy treasure, although we did have a lot of fun. And to show my appreciation for everyone that watched to the end, I'm gonna give one subscriber that comments on this video a box full of treasure hunting equipment and stuff like this Lost Dutchman board game. Click here to watch another video. This has been ClawQuest, and I'll see you in the next one.